You're going to have the easiest time romantically because now Venus is in Gemini, which is a really light, easy, and easy to communicate sign when it comes to love. This is going to be a reading for your rising sign, so check that out first. But also let's talk about what is the Venus in Gemini really means for all of us. It's kind of the time when people from Venus and Taurus, when we had like a lot of stable, a lot of really like hard to move feelings, and we really needed to like put a lot of effort into manifest some sort of things and really calculate them, be like really practical. Now we're moving into the sign of light and effortless and just like, like we're not having really serious intentions. So this is a great time to overall just like start talking to people, start enjoying people, start not necessarily thinking, oh my God, like, so what's going to happen then? What's going to happen after? Because by the end of the day, after Venus will go through Geminis, it will move to Cancer, which is, this is where you're going to think about like more long-term relationship. This is when you're going to think about like starting a family and really having like seeing the future with these people. But right now you can see a lot of like even your friends, a lot of your acquaintances and people you talk to really become something more romantic, really become something more interesting, really become something more like where you see your interest in love wise. You can also meet someone when you're traveling, you're having short-term trips, maybe you're going to a business trip or doing some sort of like educational trip and overall studying somewhere like literally in library. Maybe you going on a hike, maybe you going on some sort of a lecture or like open spaces where people study and like connect with each other. This is the time to really like, if you want to have more acquaintances, if you have more friends, so if you're trying to have one of those friends to become lovers, this is definitely the time to do it. Aries rising, so for this transit you will definitely see how there is a lot of opportunities for you to meet people while you're traveling, while you're having short-term trips, while you're having some sort of educations. And if you have this job that suggests that you might travel, you actually might have a little bit getaway and business trips for like 1-2 days, maybe two, like not necessarily you're gonna like fly to the other end of the country, but it will be somewhere when you can access it through even car or trains. The thing is, you might actually see that people you've connected before could become your romantic partnerships, could become someone who you're trying to like establish connection with. That could also be your friends, that could also be somebody in your like immediate environment. At the same time, it's overall great time for collaboration. It's great time to really connect with people and get into those like like little circles and create something, right? Like now when not like I'm not necessarily talking about like love wise, it's just like about expression, about joy. And your neighbors and even like your siblings could help you here. You can do some sort of like exciting projects, you can do some sort of exciting things that overall will spark this interest for life in you. uh, if your job has to do anything with communication, including talking, including journaling, including writing, including have any like intellectual things in it, and maybe you selling, maybe you connecting people, maybe you like in between, like you a third kind of like person, what is it, like a third salesman person, like whatever that is. This is going to be a really favorable time for your career as well. So make sure you express yourself, make sure you talk to people, make sure you write to people. If you're trying to create some sort of book, song, write some sort of post for your Substack, or like send some sort of like email list, like this is going to be a great time for you to actually do that. And again, people are going to see you a little bit more professional when it comes to your communication, maybe advertising, maybe negotiation, public relationships, and especially if you need to pass like some sort of tests, exams, because May is usually the time when we do get into those like finals or like whatever your school suggests. Yeah, it is a time to show yourself there, and seems like all the intellectual pursuits will go easier for you. Taurus rising, so for you this is a great time to secure your bag, to see any type of financial activities, do them. If you're trying to secure a new job, promotion, if you're trying to seek some monetary help, or find side hustle that will help you, right? Like it also could be because it is Gemini ruled by Mercury, so we have this kind of like a Venus plus Mercury, meaning those financial decisions could be something short term, could be like a really like something that you come do and finish, right? Like it's something that maybe you teach someone, right? You come to their place, you taught your lesson, you went home. Some short-term actions that you can do during this time, or also if you investing your time into Venus related areas. Well, but I'm thinking like also any type of like Mercury related areas would work too. But think about arts, think about resale, think about crafts, think about luxury items, think about beauty, think about health, think about and like everything that we talked about Mercury, which is education, communication, all those things. This is going to be the places where you can see money come from during this time. So if you do want a little bit high side hustle, if you do want to make something extra, if you are trying to maybe like save for a trip in August, right? Like, and now you're trying to like, okay, let me make a little bit more effort into like securing the bag. This is what's going to happen to you. Now, speaking of shopping habits, you can also see increase in that because it will be the time for you to enjoy shopping and enjoy like spending money. It is something to watch out for if you're trying to be like on a budget during this time, because you will naturally feel like, oh, like I want to buy things, I want to invest into things, I want to gain some sort of like pleasure from these experiences. Maybe I want to do like some sort of spa and like buy new shoes and like just like have this like a fun moment of like, oh, like I'm doing what I need to do, right? And the thing is, if you are looking for love, this is also a great time for any sensual and pleasures as well, like all those type of activities, including maybe like massage, maybe intimacy, maybe just like holding hands, maybe hugging people, right? Like this is some areas where you can see a lot of increase in activities, right? Like, and that would be your positive outcomes with your love life. But for you, Taurus rising, I would specifically focus on how can you monetize your talent in this transit right now, because it is about like expanding your finances. It is about expanding your financial capacity too. Gemini is rising, this is your time to shine. This is your time to be outside and really attract all the attention, because Venus is going through your first house, which naturally enhances all of your beauty, all of your attention, all of your magnetism, all of your like, this is something that you literally like, this is something that you just like subconsciously, or like it doesn't really matter, like you don't really put effort, but you still draw so much attention to yourself. You still make people look at you, you still make people give you compliments, right? Like, so during this time you might also experiment a lot with how you look, how you being perceived. Maybe you doing something stylish, maybe you changing your clothing, maybe you changing your style, maybe you overall like glowing with your appearance. To experiment, because you will naturally find this like a new approach to your, again, like makeup or your appearance, where people be like, oh wow, like this person looks really beautiful, right? Just like I do right now. But like try to do these things, try see where you can like uplift yourself a little bit. Maybe you will decide to, I don't know, you will be walking down the mall and people will be doing like a free masterclass, how to like elevate your look, how to elevate some sort of things. Invest your time into like looking better, into taking care of yourself a little bit more. And you can see that actually a lot of like people around you will be more polite. People around you will be more, have this like a subtle presence where they're looking at you, they watching you, they want to know what you're doing, they want to know your next move, like in a best positive way, because you kind of like magnetize them, you magnetize these people. And thing is, all the pursuits you have from within, something that you really want, something that really responds from your heart, there will be a lot of luck there will be a lot of blessings there. And again, this is kind of the time, like when you decide to do something, when you decide to make something happen, when you see some sort of like success outside, right? Like you want to seek the success. As long as you have it, as long as you want it, and as long as you want for it, like this is your time to shine, and this is your time to have this like green light everywhere you go. Because again, Venus is going through your house, and then like we're gonna have Gemini seasons, which also gonna bring this kind of like like feeling of a fresh air. So whether you want love and relationship, this is a great time to meet people and see those like romantic activities and initiatives. If you're trying to make it about all professional situations, and you're trying to, present some sort of like creative work and show yourself as this like a cute professional, also amazing. If you, yeah, like whatever you want to do, just like think that you drink this like potion of attention and magnetism, and people always will tell you yes. Think about it in this way, and use that energy. Cancer rising, so during this time you can actually see a lot of intuition and a lot of talking stages, literally with the universe, literally with your dreams, and something that really does not translate into the physical world. So if right now you're having crazy dreams, if you cannot fall asleep late at night, if you just like have certain feelings that you need to tell people, that you need to do something, that you need to follow something, you cannot necessarily describe it what it is, you cannot necessarily understand it, but you just like have this feeling, this is something that you need to follow, because you will be having a lot of focus on your inner world. With that being said, you can totally see enhancements and like how your mental health is getting better during this time. Maybe you'll find more peace and more joy in doing certain activities like going for a walk outside, like listening to some sort of affirmations, writing in your journal, meditating, doing some sort of practices that again make you feel really good about yourself. Now, speaking about secrets, speaking about certain like shady things, you can see some sort of like secret love. You can see how you being included in some sort of dreamy, secret, imagination type of activities, right? So it might be when you talk to like a random person online, like you know nothing about them, but you have your imagination. You know what I'm saying? You have your intuition. You want to talk to this person. Maybe it will be like really kind of like incognito. Maybe it's somebody who these people, you know how they look like, but you just don't really want to tell people about it, and you want to keep the secrets. In this case, it will be definitely a great time to keep the secret and have this kind of like secret love affair when you in a friend group, but nobody knows what's really happening. Like this is going to be really something that you can see a lot of fun with and have a lot of fun with. But overall, if you're traveling really, really far away, if you're trying to do some sort of getaways, when I say getaway, I mostly mean like places that don't have like a lot of infrastructure. Maybe you're going to like rural areas, maybe you're going for hikes, maybe you're going to like mountains, maybe you're going to some sort of, I don't know, like middle of the ocean. This is also going to be a great time for you to experience those places because again, they kind of bring this feeling of intuition. They bring this feeling of something, important and far, but also intuitive that you do. So any of those activities could really bring you a lot of good time. Leo rising, this is definitely a very magical time for you because that is the time when a lot of your dreams and a lot of your almost like really distant and long-term dreams will come through. Something you've been dreaming about, something that you had on a vision board for a long time, something that you've been manifesting is coming to reality, right? Not only this transit affects some sort of like manifestation moments, but it also has to do a lot with your friends, with your communities, with people around you. So you might see even romantic relationship develop out of some sort of friendship or within your group circle, right? Like something that you just know these people, you know that you kind of like connected in some sort of level. Now you're like, oh, I don't know if that's something that like I should do because like we're kind of friends, but you totally could have the situation. At the same time, it's a great time if you having any sort of collaboration with your friends, if you're doing group projects, if you decide to do like a group spa day when you all just like, chip in and you go to the spa, you have the best time of your day, the best time of your life, and you enjoying the massage, you enjoy like any sort of activities. But it is likely to be in a group setting. It is likely to be with a lot of your friends, with a lot of, again, like-minded people. If you do any sort of hobbies, if you belong to some sort of communities, you can also see a lot of things getting better overall within those communities, things getting more joyful. Joyful is the word for sure. At the same time, if you're meeting someone during this time, somebody really powerful, somebody really like a kind of like a sponsor, somebody who could show you the way forward, you could use those connections to advance in your life. So maybe you trying to secure some sort of projects, maybe you trying to secure some sort of just like support from, again, like people with power. It is something that you can also do. It is somebody who like introduce you to the right people, somebody who will show you the way forward, basically. But you definitely can see yourself in a lot of communities. You can definitely see yourself in a lot of social settings. You can definitely see yourself in a lot of just like social settings, right? Concerts, group activities, picnics, whatever that is. So this is going to be your main focus, where you're going to be, again, getting some sort of love attention, potential relationship, but also joy and happiness. Virgo rising, so this is your time to secure that promotion. This is your time to really show up for yourself and present yourself as this very professional, as this very person with the good reputation and good public image. You might have some sort of talks and communications with your bosses about promotions. You might be overall see yourself in a lot of those establishments where people have more power than you, and you just kind of getting introduced to them. You're just getting introduced to these people, but your personal charm, your ability to be diplomatic, you having like good relationship with people and kind of like this polished image is really bringing success to those promotions, to those moments of recognition, to those moments where you need to present yourself in the best light, in the best way possible, right? So if you're also trying to develop your personal life and have sort of relationships, I would not surprise that you would meet someone who is belong to those establishments. meaning it might be your boss, it might be one of the investors, it might be a person who overall works for government structures, or overall like some sort of like a really complicated hierarchical structures, right? Like maybe it's somebody, maybe like it's a politician, maybe it's somebody who, you know, whatever that is, like somebody who works within the system. As I said, getting support from positive, powerful figures is definitely on the table. If you're trying to secure, again, if you're trying to get some sort of financing, if you're trying to get some sort of recognition, if you're trying to even like win some sort of like getaway, or win some sort of, you know, those like giveaways on Instagram, and there is a chance to like talk to like a very powerful person, or have like a one-on-one conversation, something like this, it is something that you should be looking for. And because this transit is also about change of status, you could literally like change your status going from single to married. Maybe you will be going from you know, being in relationship, but now you're kind of like proposing. Status change could mean like so many things to different people, right? Like it could also be like unemployed and employed. It could also be I don't know, like having a visa, then having like a permanent, you know, like grant to like live somewhere. It's about like having citizenship, not having citizenship. It's about just like all the status change for the better could also be here for you. So if that's something that you are looking to do, right, like, or stay powerful and on top of this like mountain, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to stay there, this is a great time to do any sort of intentional practices to stay there. Libra rising, this is going to be an amazing time for you if you are traveling, or if you're meeting people from different cultures, and especially if you're trying to create some sort of relationship. That would be the time when you might connect to people from different cultures, might connect with people who just have different backgrounds and speak different languages. Interestingly enough, they might speak the same language, but they just might come from a different religion, a different philosophy, different way of living overall. So it will be a lot of attention in overall your intellectual pursuits, cultural and international matters. Amazing time if you're trying to get some sort of degree. Amazing time if you're trying to get into some sort of like a really powerful education, right? Like a high-end education, MBI, like all of those things. Or even if you're buying like some sort of online course, but it's really expensive, as a really expensive coach with somebody who's like a really has a lot of power. If you're starting those type of conversations and studies, this is going to be a great time for you to actually benefit from that at some point. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of intellectual connections. As I said, most of them will be coming from abroad. Most of them will be coming from you traveling the world, or you will be opening yourself opportunities to travel. So if you are getting into a job right now that it suggests to you that you might travel for work, that you might travel to you know, connect with the partners overseas, this is a great sign. Like this is the sign that you might do this. If you're trying again like to create more relationship in your life, if you're trying to create more like love connected things in your life, look something far away from your home. Look some like different cultures. Look somebody who like you really need to learn and almost like break your brain while trying to like learn about these people. Because you know how sometimes we like see people from different cultures and we're like, wow, like you really do that, like this is like how you like operate. Like it's almost like something like a new provocative concept in your mind that you're trying to comprehend. And like that, what like it's kind of like to some people it's like about like just like a challenge for your logic and challenge um for like how you see the world. And this is the moment of like expansion. This is the moment of like, okay, world is not just like where I'm come from, and the culture is not like where I grew up. It's like way more bigger than this. It's way more, you know, there's different aspects to it. So you can see that type of growth both in relationship and again in your education. If you're trying to do some sort of marriage or honeymoon, going abroad again is going to be a great time, and overall success during travel. So seems like going to be a fun month. Scorpio rising, you actually will see some sort of luck, some sort of blessing, some sort of like return when it comes to joint finances and almost like money that like don't necessarily exist, don't necessarily like you can touch them. Maybe you trying to return some sort of products. Maybe you know, ordered a package on Amazon and somehow you will get refund back. Somehow you will get like those like gift cards or amount, like some type of money like back on your account. So again, like think about money that you cannot necessarily touch, right? If you're trying to pay off your credit card debts or student loans, anything, taxes, right? Like this is going to be a great time to really just go for it, just do it. Universe will help you. Universe will find some sort of like ways where those money will come from for you to provide for all of those things. And in one of the ways, you might receive some sort of tax return, you might receive some sort of payment from your insurance, inheritance, maybe like again like taxes, as I said. But overall, it's favorable time for any financial like speculations, investing your money into some sort of like joint ventures. And the thing is, because this Venus is in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is like a really short-term transaction, you might just like invest your money into something like that you're literally gonna pull out money like next week, right? Like you invested. I don't know. I don't even know how that works, right? Like I'm mostly investing like long term, but it could be something that like you immediately like made money on something, right? Like so that's something could make sense. Looking into if you know what you're doing, if you know take full responsibility for that. But at the same time, it is time of really deep and powerful change when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to deeper like levels on your soul. If you have a partner right now, this is definitely the time to go deep. This is definitely the time to have conversations and try to discover yourself even deeper, right? um, it could also mean that, again, intimacy speaking, you might have just like more eye-opening moments. You might have just like a more level of connections, like this desire, this pleasure, this lust that you have for each other could be really like highlighted big time. So if that's the feeling, you might see one of those things unfold in a very like passionate and temptative, temptations. So what is the word of temptation? Tempering way, but you know what I'm saying. Like there will be a lot of intense emotional experiences that kind of like push you to expand yourself and thrive. Sagittarius rising. This is the time when your relationship and your social life is going to be on a high moment of this year. This is going to be the time when you mostly focusing on relationship and partnerships. So let's start with love specifically, right? This is the love that people write in the books. Very much like exactly how you imagine your relationship to be. Very much like perfect. Very much people invest in the same amount of time. Very much people both like so interested in this. So if you're trying to meet someone, this is going to be a great time to not just meet someone, but meet someone who is committed, somebody who is want to create longer partnerships, longer, you know, they're not just here like for a minute. They here to really be there for you. If you are in partnerships, you can see how your relationship developing already into something bigger, right? Like this is the time, if you've been just seeing each other, going on a few dates every other week, now you could actually see a little bit more consistency, a little bit more commitment, a little bit even talks about, okay, so what are we, like what are we trying to be, who are we trying to be, what are we trying to, you know, put out there. So amazing time. If it's not like love related, you can see overall a better connections with your audience, better connections with some sort of performances that you could put out in public eye, in social life, right? Maybe you hosting some sort of events, or maybe you an artist and you need to perform, maybe you do stand-up comedy. Whatever you do, it is a great time for you to just like put yourself out there, say this is who I am, and connect with people, because again, people will be just like more drawn to you. And if you're doing some sort of like consultations, if you own some sort of like, you know, consulting business, or you overall do maybe you like influencer, but like you decide to do like one-on-one consultation, this is going to be a great time. Or overall, right, like you, because Venus is also responsible for like money, but also like money that you make easily. Maybe some people will come to you and be like, hey, like I'm really trying to solve like one problem, one question, can you help me with that? Can you help me like how exactly I can make it happen for myself, right? And you're just gonna, you know, in a very short term, because it is like Gemini energy, you're just gonna make this money really quick, give them the information that you know, and kind of like, you know what, okay, this is it. But overall, a very positive time, especially if you are in any sort of entertainment, arts, creation, advertisement, and doing something like one-on-one, like consulting. Capricorn rising. So this is going to be an amazing time for you at your job, at work, relationship with your co-workers as well. And mostly you will feel like you're coming to a place of work where like you almost like don't have to work. You know, like there are those days at work where you just like hanging out, you're talking to people, you like having lunch together, you kicking, you talking, by the end of the day you get paid, right? Like this is how the next month or so is gonna feel with this transit. uh, if there's an opportunity to improve your relationship with your coworkers, this is the time to do it, because everything is really kind of like blessing your relationship with your coworkers and the situation at work. If you are looking into love situations, I would say that during this time, a lot of these things can come through your work. Like it could literally be your coworkers. Maybe you'll decide to like go for happy hour, and then you realize like you have some sort of feelings to each other, or I would say like I'm not an HR in any case, but I would ask you to be like just like adult about it, because Venus is in Gemini. It's also kind of like we're not thinking long term. We're not trying to like create this like a big strategy of what's happening. We're just there for a good time, for a short time, not necessarily a long time. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, if you're trying to have any awakening with your health routines, with your body, try to feel more about like how you feel about yourself, how you're trying to like move, how you're trying to like connect with all of that. Do it. I don't know what else to say. Maybe you will be seeing doctors that will give you a lot of like good recommendations, and you will start taking them immediately. You will start doing them immediately. Again, this is a Gemini gonna start doing it, right? Like not necessarily finish it, but you will see results in a short term, in a short amount of time, because it is just like what it is, right? Or maybe you will decide to start a new healthy habit, or like you will decide to walk 10,000 steps every day, or you will decide to do heavy lifting, or you will decide to do cold showers, or like meditate. Anything that really enhances your productivity and your routine and your feeling of like I'm doing something like consistently and like on every single day basis. Yeah. And the thing is, you might get a pet during this time. You might get a dog, you might get a cat, you might adopt them, which is really important to adopt. Um, but yeah, and combining all of the things together, you also might bring your pets to work. You might need to work with your pets together. You might also do some sort of medical exams for your pets. But this is like all the main focuses that you can have right now during this transit of Venus. Aquarius rising, you are having the best time of your life. It's going to be the time of chilling, relaxation, leisure, creativity, allowing your inner child to shine, having entertainment, enjoyable activities, not necessarily like work routine, not necessarily any of that, but it is time to just like have fun. And it's amazing if you are an artist. It's amazing if you're trying to do any sort of like artistic, creative professions, like acting, like musicians, like painters, poets, architects, stylists, like designers, like anyone who requires creativity. And you can just like see how overall your creativity is being enhanced during this time in anything that you do, right? Speaking of romances, speaking of intimacy, this is going to be the time when you will actually have a very light approach to it, when you actually have a time of like, ooh, like I am, I'm just like enjoying what I do. Like I don't necessarily like think about my work as like a very heavy place. I don't necessarily, wait, what am I talking about? Romance, intimacy. Why? How did I switch to work? Now, let's go back. Let's go back. This is going to be the time when it's like time for like short term flirting, talking stages of like any situationships. So if you're meeting people, right? Like you can literally have like 10 people like meeting like throughout the week. Right. And you don't have a lot of expectations. You don't need to have a lot of expectations, because this is your time to like test the waters and have fun. Right. Amount of pleasure is really will be high. Like it will be also probably a lot of people who just like have a lot of fun with you. They might be also like very like Gemini type-ish, so like a lot of talking, a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, a lot of like random things, a lot of just like I might be like confused in a moment. It's fun, so like who cares, right? You can also have some sort of luck, because this Venus transit is bringing a lot of luck to you. This transit bringing some sort of small wins, even if you do some sort of competitions, even if you like I don't know, you at the bar and people like asking like who want to play like quizzes for like $50, and you just like you randomly like winning those like $50 in I don't know, maybe you're getting credit, maybe you're getting cash, like like doesn't really matter, right? It's all about allowing yourself to step into this competition and step into this place of like let me try and see what will happen, and then what's happening, right? So yeah, have fun, because it is truly going to be one of the most pleasurable times of this year for you. Pisces rising, so this transit really brings a lot of safety, emotional safety, and feeling of being protected. It could also really influence your mindset and the questions of how really safe you feel in the world, and how is do you see the world as this like abundant place? Because this transit has a lot to do with your safety at home, and safety at homes always translates into how we feel outside of the world, right? Like if you feel at home, you feel rested, you kind of like step out and you're like, okay, I'm ready to tackle in the day. And because it is transit of Venus in Gemini, you might also see a lot of kind of like, hosting events, inviting people over, or maybe you will be chatting a lot with people over the phone, right? Like you will be doing something, you will be FaceTiming someone, maybe you will inviting people to help you, maybe do some sort of renovations, and it will be almost like a group project for you, right? It's overall amazing time if you're trying to buy some sort of property, move in into the new place, buy some furniture, even land, even like do some sort of renovations. Overall, a lot of blessings there. If you are an artist and if you channel something from, again, your emotional place deep down, something where you feel like really safe and really, open to everything, this is a great time for you to channel that creativity and just like, express your artistic beginnings. And of course, this transit affects your family in a big time. So you might see a lot of positive changes. You might see a lot of positive events. You might see a lot of positive trends that happening with your family talks, spending time together, reconnecting with them, right? Maybe even introducing your partner to your family, maybe even introducing your relationship, doing some sort of engagements like, weddings, family gatherings, like people are coming together to celebrate something, hosting friends, hosting people, hosting any type of events here, really. So you can see a lot of that. Definitely cute purchases for your home also are considered during this time. You might see that, you buy like a cute plate, you buy like a cute couch, you buy like a cute decoration for your house. But overall, you will feel not only support from family, but just cozy feelings at home, productivity at home, and possibly you might even you might like even sell something from your home to capitalize off of that too.